Tensions between Israel and Hezbollah have escalated to dangerous levels, with Israeli military Chief Lieutenant General Herzi Halevi ordering troops to prepare for a possible ground invasion of Lebanon. This follows Hezbollah's firing dozens of rockets into northern Israel and a missile at Tel Aviv. In retaliation, Israel launched intense airstrikes across Lebanon, targeting Hezbollah positions. Lebanese officials report that over 600 people, 25% of them women and children, have been killed in the strikes. The conflict has displaced nearly 200,000 people, with the UN confirming more than 90,000 newly displaced in the past few weeks. In a sign of escalating military preparations, Israel has mobilized 2 reserve brigades for potential action along the northern border. Following last week's exploding pager attacks by Israel, Hezbollah has stepped up its rocket attacks on Israel, claiming solidarity with Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. Its missile aimed at Tel Aviv was a bold move, though Israel dismissed it as psychological warfare. Israel has stated that Hezbollah has an estimated 150,000 rockets capable of hitting targets anywhere in Israel. In addition to airstrikes targeting Hezbollah's weapons and intelligence infrastructure, the Israeli military killed a top Hezbollah commander, Ibrahim Mohammed Kobayashi, in an attack on Beirut's southern suburbs. Civilian casualties in Lebanon continue to mount, with 72 people killed and over 400 injured in Israeli airstrikes in just one day this week. The conflict has drawn urgent international concern. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken has called for restraint, warning that the situation could spiral into a broader Middle Eastern war. President Joe Biden also expressed concern, saying an all-out war is possible, but urging diplomacy as the best path forward. The United Nations Security Council held an emergency meeting on September 25th, led by Slovenia, to address the crisis. French President Emmanuel Macron joined the call for both sides to cease their military actions immediately, stressing the toll on civilians. The humanitarian crisis is deepening, with the UN reporting that nearly 500,000 people in Lebanon have been displaced since the conflict began a year ago. The situation is further complicated by other regional actors. A drone strike in the southern Israeli port of Eilat injured 2 people, with an Iraqi militia group aligned with Iran claiming responsibility. This adds another layer of tension as more actors potentially get drawn into the conflict. Despite the growing intensity, the US Pentagon has indicated that a full-scale Israeli ground invasion of Lebanon is not yet imminent. However, Israel's mobilization of reserve troops and its airstrikes designed to weaken Hezbollah's capabilities suggest that ground operations could be on the horizon if tensions continue to rise. With no signs of either side backing down, the conflict is teetering on the brink of a broader war. Hezbollah continues its rocket attacks, and Israel shows no signs of letting up its military campaign. The situation is dire, and both sides are digging in for what could be a prolonged and devastating conflict. International efforts to mediate are ramping up, but the window for diplomacy may be closing. Civilians on both sides are paying the highest price as the violence escalates, with the world watching anxiously to see if peace can be brokered or if the Middle East is headed for an even deadlier confrontation.